Welcome back everyone. I know it's been a while since the first episode, but it was really impossible for me to do any work for the channel for many different reasons. But anyway, better late than never, and here we are. First thing I want to say is that the bike runs perfectly fine. It was a success, and it's an amazing feeling to ride the 865. I mean, you can feel the torque and the power throughout the RPM range. But more on this later. I also want to say that this is not a how-to video because I'm not an experienced engine builder or a professional mechanic. So I'm not really in a position to give advice to anyone, but I'd like to share the stuff I learned through this process, and hopefully they will be helpful to others like me who want to do the same. But before we get into the description and the tips, I'd like to show you the before and after dyno results as a treat for the long wait. The first dyno run was with the engine stock and with Tech into one Stinger exhaust fitted, and also the free-flowing stage 2 DNA filter. And the second run was with the 865, the S&Sperformance camshaft, the new clutch, and the power commander tuned. And here it is. The blue line is obviously the first run with the 650 stock engine, and we got roughly 46.5 horsepower and almost 5.3 kilogram meters of torque, which translates to 52 newton meters of torque roughly. And the red line is the 865, which gave us 58.1 horsepower and 7.46 kilogram meters, which is 73 newton meters of torque. So after the first run on the dyno was ready to begin, I gathered some strength and courage, and I began taking apart the components of the bike. So the first mistake I did was that I tried to loosen the camshaft bolts with only the camshaft locking tool in place and not with the crank locked with this special tool. Although I didn't have the special tool, and I used afterwards this 6mm drill bit, which worked really fine. As a result, I damaged the one end of the stock camshaft where the locking tool goes. So eventually I took the head off, and I checked again the top dead center position just to be sure, because I already had checked it with piston stop tool. Another mistake here is that I was removing the circlips without the crankcase opening covered. Fortunately, nothing fell in. Unfortunately, the camera died while we were installing the new cylinders with a friend of mine. Something very important to know is that you can have the pistons in the cylinders and have someone hold the cylinder assembly above the crankcase and then connect the pistons one by one to the rods. The crankshaft remains locked in position for this, and it's way easier than trying to put the pistons in with the ring compressor when They are already connected to the rods. With a new cylinders on, the next thing I did was replace the clutch plates with the Recluse performance clutch. The instructions were very clear and really easy to follow. No problems here, so I don't have any specific tips about it. Maybe at some point I'll do a video about the clutch replacement. Then the installation of the power commander was also very easy with very clear instructions. And then I finished preparing the cylinder head, cleaning and putting the shims under the valve springs to accommodate the new S&S camshaft. I was ready to install it. For the new copper cylinder head gasket I used this sealant and it worked fine, as it seems. Again, during this step it's very important to have someone help you with that. I did this all by myself and as you see I dropped the chain into the crankcase. I managed to pull it out easily, but the problem I didn't see at the moment was that the chain was off the crank shaft sprocket. And I realized that after I put on the camshaft, and I had to take it off again, and also I had to use an inspection camera and a long wire to try and put the chain in the correct position. Now about tightening the cylinder head bolts, of course you need a set of new ones, and it's good to have a good quality and recently inspected torque wrench. But what I found kind of frightening was the force I needed to put to apply the angular torque needed. So for this job is best to use the longer wrench you can find. So after all that and with the camshaft on, I was finally ready to do the camshaft timing. It took a little time to do this as I had to triple check to be sure, but it turned out okay. Then it was only a matter of time to finish assembling all the last easy bits. And I was finally ready to hit the start button. Needless to say, my heart was racing, but it was a success. No leaks, nothing exploded in my face. The bike, as I told you, runs perfectly fine. I've put around 3,000 kilometers so far. And in the next video I'll do a ride review. I'll talk about the good stuff, but also the negatives. Thank you very much for watching. Ride safe, and I'll see you next time.